Hi friends, it's me, Jessica. Please subscribe my channels. Now start the ceremony. People often mistake quietness for weakness. They see someone small, gentle, or soft-spoken and assume she needs protection. They assume her voice won't carry, that her influence stops at the edge of her smile. But they forget something powerful. Energy has no size. Sometimes the smallest frame holds the strongest spirit. She walks into a room and doesn't have to say much. People simply feel her presence. It's not because she's loud or commanding, it's because her energy is rooted in peace, confidence, and purpose. The world taught her that being seen isn't about volume, it's about vibration. She doesn't compete with chaos. She doesn't raise her voice to be heard. She just speaks truth softly, and somehow it echoes longer than anyone else's shout. That's the beauty of real feminine strength. It's not aggressive, it's undeniable. Her energy shocks people because it breaks the rules. They expect power to look like dominance, but hers looks like grace under pressure. They expect strength to look like resistance, but hers looks like calm that never bends. She doesn't fight for attention. She commands it by existing authentically. She may be small in size, but she carries something most never master: emotional depth. When she listens with her whole being. When she loves without conditions. When she speaks, every word carries intention. And when she decides to stand for something, nothing can move her. Feminine energy isn't about perfection, it's about alignment. The balance between softness and power, intuition and clarity. She has learned how to channel both. That's why she's magnetic. That's why people remember her long after she leaves. Her strength isn't loud, it's the kind that holds families together, the kind that brings peace to chaos, the kind that turns pain into purpose. Her energy reminds people that you don't have to take up physical space to make a spiritual impact. And maybe that's what shocks everyone most. Not that she's small, but that her spirit is limitless. The world often measures strength by how visible it is, by how much space someone takes up, how loud they speak, or how confident they appear. But she teaches you that true strength doesn't need an audience, it simply is. When she walks into a room, people sense something different. Not because she demands attention, but because she carries balance. She doesn't rush to speak, yet when she does, her words land with precision. She doesn't try to prove anything, yet her calm confidence proves everything. That's the secret behind her feminine energy. It's not about control, it's about flow. She knows how to read a room, to sense emotion without words. She can feel when someone's hurting before they even say it. That empathy, that ability to connect beyond logic, is her quiet power. People think it's a gift, but really, it's wisdom born from observation, patience, and presence. Her energy doesn't compete, it complements. She doesn't try to win every argument. She knows peace is the real victory. She doesn't need to dominate to feel powerful. She knows influence is greater than control. That's what most misunderstand. Power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it's found in stillness, in the courage to stay grounded while the world spins in chaos. She might seem fragile to those who only see surfaces, but fragility isn't the same as weakness. It's sensitivity, the ability to feel deeply, to absorb life, to remain open even when the world tries to harden her. And that's what makes her extraordinary. When others crumble under pressure, she bends but never breaks. Her faith, her intuition, her resilience, they keep her steady. She knows storms will come, but she doesn't fear them anymore. She's learned that her peace isn't found in avoiding the storm, but in learning to dance in the rain. People often ask how she stays so calm, how she keeps shining through struggle. The truth, she's been through enough to know that real power isn't what you show, it's what you carry within. Every scar, every heartbreak, every disappointment became her training ground. And now her silence speaks more loudly than anger ever could. Her energy doesn't need to be explained. It's felt. It's in her presence, her posture, her patience. It's the kind of energy that doesn't force outcomes. It attracts alignment. Because she doesn't chase. She attracts by being whole. And that's what shocks people most. She doesn't have to change herself to be powerful. Her very essence, her softness, her authenticity is her power. She is living proof that strength and sensitivity can exist in the same breath, and that the smallest light can outshine the darkest room. What most people don't realize is that her presence changes things, quietly, effortlessly, and often without her even knowing it. She doesn't walk around trying to inspire anyone. She simply lives with integrity, with kindness, with purpose. And that alone becomes her message. The people around her start to soften too. They begin to speak more gently, to listen more deeply, to act more intentionally. That's what her energy does. It doesn't demand change, it invites it, and the world responds to that invitation more than it ever does to force. Her calm becomes contagious. Her patience disarms conflict. Her forgiveness teaches others that peace doesn't come from winning, it comes from letting go. And her strength, the one that's quiet, the one that doesn't shout, reminds others that real power is never about proving anything. You can see it in the way people talk about her after she leaves a room. They might say, "There's something about her. I can't explain it, but she makes me feel safe." That's because her energy doesn't just fill a space. It heals it. She brings balance where there was chaos, understanding where there was judgment, light where there was tension. But what's most powerful about her is that she doesn't even try. She's not performing, not chasing approval, not seeking validation. She's simply aligned. Her thoughts, her emotions, and her actions flow from the same peaceful core. That kind of alignment is magnetic. It makes people want to do better without her ever asking them to. The world often praises the loud and visible, but she shows that sometimes the most impactful presence is the one that doesn't need to be noticed to make a difference. Her influence doesn't come from position or power. It comes from authenticity. And authenticity, when lived fully, becomes a force all its own. Her energy can shift the entire atmosphere. It can calm anger, ease anxiety, and open hearts that have been closed for years. That's why she's unforgettable. Not because she's the loudest in the room, but because she's the most real. Her spirit reminds people that it's okay to be gentle in a world that rewards hardness. It's okay to be compassionate in a world that confuses kindness for weakness. It's okay to be small in size but vast in soul. And maybe that's her quiet revolution. She redefines power every time she chooses peace over ego, empathy over pride, and purpose over approval. Because she knows that what truly matters can't be seen, it can only be felt. She might never call herself a leader, but she leads anyway, not by instruction, but by example. Not by control, but by presence. Her light doesn't compete with others. It helps them shine. And that's what makes her energy so shocking, so unforgettable. It awakens the best in everyone around her. When you really look at her, not with your eyes, but with your spirit, you realize that she's proof of something sacred. She's living evidence that power doesn't have to roar, that strength doesn't have to be seen to be felt. Her small frame holds something infinite. It carries faith, warmth, and a presence that feels like home. She may walk lightly, but every step she takes leaves an imprint on the hearts she passes. She moves like a whisper, yet her impact echoes louder than most people's shouts. You can feel it when she enters a room, a subtle shift, like the air becomes calmer, the tension loosens, the noise fades. That's what divine energy does. It restores balance. Her feminine energy isn't about control or competition, it's about flow. It's about aligning with something higher than ego. The quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are and whose you are. It's the peace of someone who doesn't chase love, because she already carries love within her. The kind of love that doesn't demand to be seen, only to be shared. And that's what shocks people the most. Not her size, not her softness, but her spirit. They can't understand how someone so gentle can hold so much power. But that's the mystery of grace. It's silent, yet it transforms everything it touches. She teaches others, without words, that you don't have to shout to be heard. You don't have to fight to be strong. You don't have to prove your worth when your soul already knows its value. Her energy is the reminder that peace is not passive. It's powerful. That softness isn't weakness. It's wisdom in motion. And when she loves, she does it fully, not halfway, not carefully, but with a heart wide open. Her love doesn't just fill someone's life. It awakens it. It challenges them to rise, to grow, to heal, to become better. Not because she demands it, but because her light makes you want to match it. She's the kind of woman who makes you believe again, in goodness, in connection, in purpose. Because when you see her, when you feel her energy, you realize that the soul is what truly matters. Not the surface, not the size, not the noise, but the quiet, steady glow of something eternal. Her energy is divine in its simplicity. It reminds us that the most beautiful things don't announce themselves. They just are. And in a world obsessed with bigger, louder, faster, she's the gentle proof that small can still be mighty, that stillness can still move mountains, that the spirit within her, delicate, radiant, fierce, can change everything it touches. So yes, she may be small in size, but her soul, it's vast enough to hold the universe. And when you meet a woman like her, you'll never forget it. Because her feminine energy doesn't just shock you, it transforms you.